good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to this session of Inspiring Conversation. And don't be alarmed because of my eye. I haven't got a clue what happened. I just have a redness in my eye. But welcome to this session, and I will just read why I am doing this. So, inspiring conversation. It's all about creating conversations that really matter. We're diving into ways to connect deeply, break down barriers, and build moments that inspire trust and growth. Whether it is with your team at work or in your everyday chats, we'll bring more positivity, realness, and impact into every conversation. And as always, I am in Iceland, in the beautiful town of Kópavogur. And I live somewhere around here. If I don't know if you see my mouse, but this is a good picture of the town. My guest today is an author. Yes, she. Her name is Hilda Fainsod, and she has written the book Power Up, the executive roadmap to transforming life and business. And she is my first Mexican ever. Yay! So, and also the first South American. Welcome, Hilda.
Thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here because
Yes.
I also love conversations, and this is one that
And you,
matters.
and I think that you are inspiring, aren't you? You must be inspiring because you have the chance to talk to me about your book and your like why you wrote it and what you're doing and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yes. So who I just as I mentioned, welcome to Handson Coaching Stream or Inspiring Conversations. We are going to in a heartbeat, we are going to talk about the hidden saboteurs, breaking free from triggers that hold you back. We all have them, but how can we get rid of them? So, but tell us a little bit about Hilda before we go. Like, who
Okay.
are you and what have you done up to now? And don't reveal your age because we don't want to, like, we are 29 this year.
I will not.
No, we are 29 both. So, who
Okay.
is Hilda and what have you been doing in life?
Yeah. I'm a Mexican woman. I was born in this country and live all the time here. I do love my culture, the Mexican culture, because is that kind of a very kind culture, and I love that. I'm that way, and I studied a career because I love the children. And when I came into college, the first year, I was in a conversation about business and corporate business and how to work in an enterprise and how to do what I supposed to do, but not with children, with adults. So I love it. I found so many possibilities that all my life I work with corporate clients and I did work in training and development. And I love it. And once I was in a swimming pool, and that was a very, very relevant conversation with my daughter. And I said, what do you want to do next year? Tell me about your year. You are going to face a lot of challenges. You are going to be in Spain for half year. You are going to exchange homes to be in college there. So tell me about your challenges. And after she told me that, she asked me back. And I love conversations with adults because she said, okay, mom, what do you want to happen in your year? And I said, gosh, great question. I love coaching. I love training, and I train in coaching, but I'm not a coach. And maybe for the future, that is a good way of spending my time, my day, and my year in life. And I love the reflection because that brings me back to an action. And I came on from vacations. I signed up for my first certification, and I have 10 international coaching certifications. I got so committed and passionate about supporting others that way, that is my main job. And I can do that without paying. Don't say that to my clients, please. But I love it so much that I can do that all day, all my time, because I witness change and transformation. And going from this is not possible, Hilda, to this is very possible. So my main work is coaching. And I decided, because I'm committed with change and challenges and transformation, to write a book in COVID times. And I did one in Spanish. And 2 years after that, I decided, why no? Go global and do it in English. So Power Up is a great challenge. And it shows me that if you want something, you can achieve it, no matter how many saboteurs did I need to deal with, and what the inner voice told me every day, that really you are Mexican. I mean, writing a book in a language is not yours, and looking as professional as you like, and sounding as you can deal with the language, and really doing fine. Can you do that? So I needed to deal with my own saboteurs to do it and finally accomplish. And I'm so proud that I give myself an opportunity to do that, and to write a book and to create impact in different languages. And
So,
that's my story.
yeah. So the Power Up book, this Power Up, the executive roadmap to transforming life and business, did you write it first in Spanish and then, or is this just an English project?
Just in English, and my clients that they maybe speak a little bit English, but they don't read English. They said, where's the book in Spanish? And there's no book in Spanish. It was created talking to myself and to the computer in English.
But I have two other questions because we will dive
Sure.
into the book later on. But okay, the first one is 10 coaching diplomas, like 10?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
super committed, and I hold myself not to go for the next so quick, to allow myself to own it, to practice it, to work with it. So yeah, 10, because I see something and I get so crazy, because I see the content and the skills and the focus, and if I don't have that, I go for it.
Yeah, so but that is the International Coaching Federation and All-Star. So you have like 10, that's one, and then you have maybe some other
No,
stuff.
the coaching is a recognition. I have 10 certifications
Ah,
as an international coach, executive coach, life and executive coaching, in neurosemantic coaching, in also mental fitness coaching. I do have a bunch of it in Canada, also in shadow coaching. In United States, I do have with Bob Dunham 2 years of this amazing certification in coaching that is IGL. So I do have a bunch.
Of course, we just take in. We are like
Yeah.
sponges. We just want stuff. We just want to learn. But
Yeah.
okay, this question will probably throw you off
Okay.
like, because I'm Icelandic and maybe I look the part. Okay, I had hair once, but you are blonde and you don't
Oh yeah.
like. When you think about like,
Yeah.
oh, it's my first Mexican, she's from South America, and then you don't look anything like
Oh.
South America. What is happening? So,
Henning,
are
you
you
are so
sure?
funny.
Are you sure that you are Mexican?
Okay, I'm pretty sure, and I will tell you, you discover a deep, deep reality. And I have two answers. The first one is I am Mexican because my mother was born in Mexico and my father was born in Europe and came to Mexico and become Mexican. So I'm
Ah,
Mexican because I was born here and my parents at that time were Mexican. One because was born here, the other one because was naturalized into a Mexican citizen. That's why. But my grandparents are European. So you discover the truth.
so you have 50% of Europe in you. So that's
Yeah, I do have. That's why. And the color of the hair, I love to go to the passport office and they don't ask you anymore what's the color of your hair. Because I struggle a lot to answer that because it was like, okay, when I was a child or now, because when I was a child, I was not blonde. So
oh
this is color. Yeah, this is
ah
color
okay. So
hair.
so yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
you
is.
are like me. We have this like we have to. Okay, so now that is off because I was just like,
That
she
is.
doesn't even look like, and then,
Yeah.
aha, now we have the secret
Uh-huh. Yeah,
sausage
I
in
do. I
Hilda.
do have this Mexican and I do have this European. Sure.
Yes. So now I know, or I think I know, why you are so bold to write in English because you are probably, how many people in Mexico, like your clients, because we are talking about the hidden saboteurs,
Mm.
you
Uh-huh.
know, and we all have these. No, I can't do this. It's just like when I started my journey 5 years ago, I was asked by a Canadian, yeah, I'm going to build my business here in Iceland. And he was just like, why only Iceland? And it struck me, why, why are we minimizing ourselves? Like, is
Sure.
that a common feeling like in Mexico that well, we don't have anything to say. We live close to the United States of America. They are big, we are tiny, we are like this, we do that. And like, is that a general assumption that like when you meet people, I know that you work with people all over the world, but in general, when you are growing up, is that something that you regularly just take in, or like, do you know what I'm going? Like,
Yeah, sure.
is it a Mexican thing? Like, it's a thing in Iceland. We have it all everywhere. All people, they think that we have quotation signs like we don't have anything to say.
No,
My voice
we
doesn't
do.
matter.
Yeah,
My voice
we
doesn't.
do. The answer is at different levels, there is a different mindset. I do work with top executives, and mostly they have to read in English, to answer email in English, to hold meeting in English, to be with foreigner executives so they know English. It's not the same to speak than to read a book. And I found that. So we can have conversations, but not always can be so fluent to read.
Mm,
We can understand there are different levels. We can understand, but hardly to speak. We can speak, but difficultly to write. So to speak and to understand and to write and to present, not everyone. But in top levels, I do have information that my clients send to me to understand culture or values or whatever project they are in. And maybe the information comes in English and they don't ask if I know English or not,
yeah,
if I can understand or not. They suppose that because I move myself in higher levels, I do have the English as one of my skills. So we challenge ourselves in top levels to do that.
yeah. And it's funny because people can comment. I didn't know if I told you, but like Rap Bassi, a great friend from the UK, United Kingdom, not so funny man, because he says that your energy is more than mine, my energy.
Okay.
We are
I
on the
do
same
have a
level.
lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Oh
do
yeah.
have.
Okay. Yeah. But that's probably because you eat all the spices. You know the
Oh
tequila.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love chili. I love it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
But he had the same question like me. Like when you coach Mexican, Spanish, or English, like are the like as I was mentioning, like are the saboteurs different? Do you
No,
or
no.
is it always this? No, I can't do this, and you are like a little tiny, and so no, I'm.
The best answer I have to that, the best one, it's the saboteurs are universal. We all have. And the best answer is when you want big goals, really big ones, and you challenge yourself and you begin a business in Iceland and you decided that's the place. And this is so different from your past experiences. And you put yourself into that big dream and aspiration. You begin like, oh my gosh, can I do that?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
We become small, full of doubts and fear. Can I do that? Can I accomplish? Can that be professional? Can I do a business there? Can I go global? I'm not going to sound like an awful Mexican trying to speak English. Um, all the doubts are showing our fear because that goal is so big that I begin to doubt. And my clients, they say, I want this and that. And suddenly they begin like, oh, that sounds huge. Can I? And I said, yes, you can. Let's see how. But yes, you can. You have the skills and talents. So tell me about your strengths and about your possibilities and what looks so difficult. And let's chunk it into pieces. And when you will chunk it, you will have piece by piece and you will move in tiny steps. And that way you will achieve. It took me 1 year to write a book. 1 year. The other in Spanish, it was in COVID. So my clients were like, we need to stop a little bit to try to understand how to operate in a different reality. So let's go slow. So I don't have work. And I sat in my computer for 8 or 10 hours a day in Spanish and write in 7 weeks a book because I have it in my head. It was in my language. It was in my expertise. I don't have more work like only writing, and I do so fast, so well. And when I wanted to do in English, I do have a work and I have clients and in a different language. And I didn't have that book in my head. And I challenged myself. It took 1 year, but I have a book. But we love heading, and that is a problem. We love quick answers and fast pace and speed and shortcuts and have it here.
Yeah, yeah.
We love it. So we don't want to slow the pace until we understand and we learn and we can do better. We don't like it. It's part of an uncomfortable place to be to change. Yes. And I
But
experienced that
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. But looking back, when you before you wrote the English book, before you wrote the Spanish book, before you took all the 10 certificates in coaching and stuff, who like what were your hidden saboteurs? Like, do you remember them? Or like what it was that hindered you from getting or being successful?
Gosh, that is a so amazing question, and I'm not sure I have the answer. But let's try to elaborate. Um, I wasn't so aware, and that is a good way of explaining that. I wasn't so aware of my challenges, my opportunities, and my barriers. Not so aware because coaching is an inner work and
Yeah.
allow you to do an inside job and to understand what gets in your way and how to solve it and how to do it. So coaching made me aware of my own interferences, my own. And I wasn't so aware that to be a perfectionist stops me because I want so perfect canvas, so professional presentations that I spend so many hours. Okay, I can do move the title here. Okay, back to there. Yeah, it looks fine. A little bit. So to be a perfectionist, that is
Yeah.
a huge saboteur,
Yeah.
doesn't allow you to progress because everything needs to be so good, so good, so good, so good. And you don't know when to stop because it's just so good. So I wasn't aware that, for example, to be a pleaser has his dark sides. And I'm a
So,
huge pleaser.
oh, so you are a pleaser. So, like
Yeah,
you are.
I
Okay. Yeah,
am.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And my family loves it. And my friends loves it.
Of course.
And
Yes.
I get myself empty to give everything outside. And I need to hold my horses and to stop a little bit because I
Uh-huh.
go too far. And in perfectionism, I go too far. And the other one that I do have as a high saboteur is a hyperachiever. And I'm an achiever, and I love that part of my personality and my professional side. I love it, Hedy. But, but I go too far. So I stress myself awfully. And that awareness is my gain in coaching. So 20 years ago, 21 years ago, I didn't have this clarity and nor this awareness. So of course I stop a lot
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
do that, but I didn't was so aware and I didn't have my personal resources to solve it, to deal with that, to make it different in a better way. And now I have the tools. But also I have the saboteur and the inner voice making me crazy sometimes.
How is it? Because there are differences in growing up here, like in Iceland or up north or in the south, because
Oh yeah.
there are totally different cultures, and like the parents, they say that you should do this and that and la la. How much of your saboteurs were the voices or the noise from your parents? Like, whereas, Hilda, you have to get married and you will stay at home mom
Oh,
and you will have
yeah.
65 kids and blah blah blah. So how
Yeah.
much of it is like the noise from your upbringing?
Yeah, I had. Of course, I had.
Yeah,
And maybe I had that as my personal values and the needs and the wishes of others. And suddenly, when you overcome and you get in different seasons in life, you decided not anymore, not anymore. I
yeah,
will decide what I want, and I will decide what is best for me, and I will decide what is best for my kids when they are kids, and I will decide. And that's Hilda today, not an inner voice of my parents, not anymore. Maybe that was 25 years ago, not now. I have.
but it takes time. It takes time to take
Oh,
that yapping out, and that is, you are, when you go against the voices from the parents, then you are like, that must be like
yeah, sure. Sure it is. And the best answer is I will explain you why I am in this way. And I will explain you why it matters to me. And if you can be with me and support me, that is so good. And if you not, I will understand.
uh,
Yes, I will. But I'm following my dreams and aspirations, and I following my own beliefs about this and that.
yeah,
And it wasn't a break with my mother. It wasn't. No. And I have the support of the family when I decided things like to divorce myself, to allow my daughter to live in another country, to allow her to marry the person she wants to. And I didn't break with no one because, as you believe in conversations, I do believe also in a
yeah.
conversation that matters and to show new beliefs in life.
How is it now? Again, I started laughing because I saw this. And Rab, he asked, is it useful to name your saboteurs? Is it easier to identify or relate them to them? He says, mine is called Hidden. He's always distracting me by making me laugh all the time. but he has a point. He has a
Yeah,
point.
he has a point. Yeah.
Do you like? Could you name, like, as he said, like, if you're at, oh, this is a saboteur, I will name this one Lucia, or or
Yeah.
Patricia, or Jesus, or whatever. Like, how do you recommend for people to, do you write them
To deal with.
down, or
Yeah. Okay. Rav has a point, and let me answer. It's perfect to recognize them because, okay, you can see them and you can find in your behavior as they are. So you name it. And after you name it, you put it them attack. So my perfectionist is Miss Perfect. And I talk to Miss Perfect. And to my hyperachiever, I name it Pusher because it's a pusher. It pushed
yeah,
me
yeah,
to to go big, better, and perfect, and push me. So I do know who they are. I name them and I talk with them. It's so good that I'm alone in my office because nobody knows that I'm talking out loud. Maybe they can think I'm just crazy and lose my mind. But I talked with them and I said to the pusher, okay, I feel stress. I'm experiencing now stress here and anxiety and a head that is crazy. And I wake up this way this morning. So, pusher, stop. Not from there, not from that place. I will achieve that in my pace and with my possibilities, exploring how can I do that, but not from a place of stress because I did that all my life and I don't want that. How about allowing me to explore possibilities, to see ideas, and to see how to solve it? So the main issue is to know them, to name them, and to talk with them, stop them, and to move into a better state of mind because we have in our mind the mind that stop us because it's a survival brain and the one that thrives us. And I stop this to use this one. And that is the way I work and I teach and I work with my clients when the saboteurs appear. I mean, all
I,
the time.
yeah. Because when you saying this and regarding the question from Rab, that if you identify them and you personify them, when it's always the same thing. When people I talk to, I have worked a lot with kids, and and people who are younger, and yeah, I feel like I have, like I should have been accomplishing this and that and and then they count so many things that you think like they want to eat the elephant in one bite instead of you have to eat the elephant in many bites.
In pieces.
So when you did you ever have this experience? Have you, like, because you have a daughter, and when you are in a conversation with your daughter, does she come with, "Oh, mama, I have to own a house, I have to be married, I have to do this and this and this."
And I said,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah,
Don't go so fast.
yeah.
Yeah. What is the one, only one thing you are going to pick now? And
That,
you are going to go to solve it. What are those pieces? And I said, hold your horses. I mean, that is so crazy that can make you nuts. So, okay, I know all the things. What is the one that you are going to pick?
yeah,
And in one, what is the first step? And my clients began like, okay, I will go and solve the problem of self-care and exercise and nutrition all that once. And I said, okay, talk me about your plan from tomorrow on. I will go all days to the gym and I will reduce carbs to zero and I'm going to go for a diet sugar free. And I said, gosh, you are going to stay there 3 days. 3 days because you are going to get crazy your mind because all those changes and your mind will try to protect you. So you are going to do that 3 days, and after that, you are going to stop, and the saboteur will appear, and you are not going to achieve. And that happened with a lot of my clients. And I do have a person living in United States, but from a different country. And in COVID, she struggled a lot, never did exercise, and the meals were disorganized. And as a lot of people, she struggled there. And she decided from tomorrow on, she was in coaching, from tomorrow on, I will do this. And I said, stop. Okay, let's begin like slowing a little bit, slowing. And that way we will solve it. And let me tell you, do you have something in your home you can exercise? And she said, yeah, I have a treadmill. Okay, can you go to the treadmill 5 minutes? And she said, come on, Hilda, everyone can do that. Okay, that is so perfect. 5 minutes. Okay, you will go 5 minutes. How many days? Every day. No, 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 no. Allow me to understand 2 3 days. Okay, okay, 3 days. That sounds crazy. Yeah, yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but you can do that. Of course I can do. So her commitment was as small as that, but she went the 2 weeks between one and the other session, coaching session. She went 3 times every week, not for 5 minutes because she was there, so maybe she spent 10 or 15, but her commitment was 5. And 2 weeks after that, she was doing a little bit exercise. And after that, she put 10 minutes instead of 5 and 15 instead of,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
increased. And with the time, she did exercise and she didn't make herself crazy. And her mind didn't stop her because it was so small that is not a change. And the mind said, that's not big. Let's do it. And she now does exercise. And after that, she began like leaving a piece of meat or meal in your meals. And after that, she decided, okay, reduce a little bit carbs, and going step by step, she changes. And that's the way, not making ourselves crazy, liking everything together at once.
But how is it when you are talking to people in business, when
Mhm.
you realize that they I have probably been there. We all been there because we tend to think way ahead of us. Like we
Oh, yeah.
like I want to do and I want to be, but that is here. And then we forget like many parts. Like how do you in your coaching or how do you, because as you mentioned, if you go too fast, if you go, yeah, I will go to the gym 5 days a week, but then you, after 3 days, then the saboteurs come. You are an idiot. You can't do this. You are lazy. You are, the self-talk, like
Yeah, that's
bad
so
talk.
difficult. That is
Yeah.
so crazy. That's a sacrifice. I know. Been there, done that.
So how do you tell, like how do you, because you only have maybe an hour with a client at a time. So
I'm
how,
not listening at you.
are you not listening?
Something happened.
Okay. I'm still here. Did
Maybe
you
it's
take the?
me. No.
Do you hear me?
Okay. Let
Okay.
me, let me,
I can hear you.
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, and I can hear you.
Okay. Can
So
you hear me?
yes, we are still
Okay.
in business. Yes.
Tell me again
Yes.
that
So
situation.
yes. So if you have a the client and you have this, because if we think about the lady from the US, that she wanted to go to the gym and 5 days a week, and then after 3 days you start like, oh, you're an idiot, you're lazy, you are a, it's much better to eat a bar of Snickers than healthy and yabba 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 yabba. But and if you have a business, like you have you're coaching and you have only an hour, because there is a time, like you can't sit with a person for 10 hours. Like how do you do this? How do you, because we have all been there. We have all, like we are here. Yes, we are going to do so much good in the world, and we have like this is our vision, and we are jumping
Yep. Yeah.
over some steps. And so how do you, like slow people down and just like, okay, let's dive into this. What is, why is, and ask the correct questions.
Yeah. I began like, okay, what are all those steps you are going to cover? And what is the first one? And what are you doing? Are you committing to do this one? And when you will finish this one, you can go for another one. You are not covering the 10 steps or 20 steps you say. You are going to walk every day, but it's a walk. It's not a sprint. This is a marathon.
Yeah,
So you need to keep your convictions, your energy, your administration of the food and incomes and everything, your time and energy. So let's focus on keep going step by step. What's the first one? And what's your commitment? And I promise
yeah.
you will get there. I promise.
And
If
then you
you
take,
keep going, you will get there. Today, no. How many
yeah,
repetition? As many as it takes.
yeah, yeah. So, because Rap, as I mentioned, he's a humorist, he finds this conversation very energy building, but he really likes to see the graphic behind you, so your logo, because his
Oh,
saboteur can't see is asking. So, yes, Rap, this is her name. It's
yeah, it's my
beautiful.
signature name.
It's a brilliant logo. So it's just like his saboteur can't see was
See,
asking.
see. Yeah.
But as we only have 15 minutes, I have mentioned, I did mention to you at some point that time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
Let's go. I want to just pick up a little bit from the book. Like, how is it you say that you you mentioned on Amazon where you can buy the book, you say, did you give up because, and then you mention you get in the way, experience change fatigue, lack of accountability, have unrealistic expectations, there are no results. Like, how do you, when people are like, how do you find, like, are people really like you meet them, you explain, you are a very likable person. Believe you me, I like you a lot. So, and you have this, as Rapper saying, like you have this energy and you are passionate and stuff. But people sometimes they don't want to talk about, they don't want to open up because it's like Pandora's box. Then they have to deal with the past.
Yeah. But not really. Let me tell you the difference.
Okay.
We don't go to the past like in therapy,
Yeah.
because that way you need to explore deeply the past. No, we only go to the past heading when we need to find resources in the past, personal resources. Example, when, oh, I don't have experience in that. When in the past it happens the same. You didn't have experience, but you accomplished. Tell me when in the past. And they go back for finding a great experience. And okay, that one. And they find the energy and the conviction to do that. This is to go to build the future, not to go to the past. So the best question I ask my clients is, who do you want to become in this season in life? Because you don't want the same when you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s than after that. So in this season in life, what do you want? And who do you want to become? And talking about business and leadership, who are the leader who wants to become, to transform yourself? Who is the leader that the company needs now? And what changes we need to work in order to go there and to be there? And to build your future self. And when I think about my future self, and I didn't have these reflections that I have today, well, we think about the future self with more gray hair and more wrinkles and older than today. And that is not an inspiring future right now.
We are 29, remember?
Yeah, we are in denial. Yeah, sure. So, no, your future self is, who do you want to become? So, I want to become an author. What do I need to do today? Okay, to sit and write 300 words daily from Monday to Friday. Okay, now you are getting it. And the book is going to be there. But now your commitment is 300 words. And if you are inspired, you can stay there for more. But your commitment can be 300 words daily. That is almost a page or something like that. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
but but yeah, I do get it because but what if when you I have said it many times. I'm a child of an alcoholic, and sometimes you carry your weight in your rucksack, and you don't know why because you think. I've always thought that I was just alone in this world. Nobody else had a father who was alcoholic. Yada yada yada. But then you realize, oh, that is not the case. But when you are, it's so easy to go back to this excuse. Oh, I
Yeah.
can't do this because my father was an alcoholic.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I listen to those stories, is okay, do you want to keep this story?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that story helpful? How does that story will support you to go there? Ah, it's not going to support you. Ah, okay. So what's a new story? And rewrite our own stories. I did believe in the past that I did everything alone to raise my kids, alone to
Yeah,
raise my kids. I had a divorce and I took care. And that's true, but also was true that there was family support and there was were friends there. And I don't know how I solve it, but suddenly a client, a project, something allow me to do that. So alone, I wasn't alone. So that story is not true. And I
yeah,
can see that today. But that was my story 15 years, 14 years. So this is not a great story because you have a support net. So let's review our stories. What do I tell myself? And it's useful, it's updated. I do have a perfect example. I had this professional client that had a project and she needed to go in a different country for 2 weeks and finish the project. And when she came back, I saw her in coaching and I said, how was it? And she said, gosh, finally, so difficult, so much work. But finally, I accomplished, I finished the project, and that's it. And did you stay there for the weekend? No. Why not? Have you ever been before in Chile? And she said, no. Why didn't you stay? I'm just trying to understand. You had the time, a weekend, to visit a different place, to have a different pace, to enjoy and breathe another culture, to eat differently. Why not? And she said, because I'm always back when I finish a project in that particular moment because my kids. And I said, okay. And that story, how many years has? Oh, a lot. So how old are they today? 24 and 26. And I said,
yeah.
but
Yes, you.
that are our crazy stories.
Yeah.
She did that when they were 5 and 7,
Yeah.
no, 24, 26. But there's a pattern that we
Yeah.
don't break because we don't question ourselves.
Yeah. But I don't know if you realize time flies when you're having fun. We have like maybe 8 minutes left.
Yeah,
8 minutes. Like we have
eight
been,
minutes.
we are
Gosh,
high
I
energy,
can
high.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, a conversation the whole day with you.
When you in your journey, and I find it really interesting to think about when you meet a person and you say there is something that says in like you meet a person and you are just like but there is something, you see the light, you see there is a possibility, uh but like do you have like the worst case scenario and the best case scenario, like where you were just like where you were really high and this person they will get it, and then it was just like ugh. Whereas you had the opposite where it was just like, oh, this person will never, and then just like boom, rocketed outside like the
Yeah,
stratosphere, and you are just like yes.
yeah,
So do you have any like do you have
yeah. I
just
have some cases.
yeah, just well, like of course I hope it's okay just to say like a briefly, because what is it that we have to do to believe in ourselves, like
Oh
when
gosh, that is so, to believe and to act.
yes.
Because usually the client said, I do believe I can. Okay, so tell me what happened. And they, well, the company, the time, the agenda, the priorities, the problem, the excuses. And I
Blah
said,
blah 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 blah
yeah,
blah blah.
yeah. And I said, okay, do you believe you can do that? Yes. Okay. So let's put another chance. Is that okay with you? Yes. What are the actions? And the actions, because if not, this is a perfect conversation. But it's not so perfect if you don't do that, if you don't do something differently. It is perfect when you do something about it because you begin to walk. So you believe in yourself and you are going to walk. Okay, you can begin to see what happens when you begin to do something about it. Because the knowledge, because my client said, oh gosh, I read 3 books about that. And I said, okay, how much did you apply? No, well, well, nothing. I mean, information doesn't change, is the action,
Yeah,
is the behavior. Yeah, and I do read a
been there,
lot.
done that, been there,
Yeah,
done
I
that.
love to read. I love the audiobooks and the podcast and all that. What are my actions? Are the one that make the difference. So I bid for my clients and I give them this trust that they can do that. And sometimes it takes a little bit for some people, and after that, they, okay, just jump. And there are only a few, very few, that they don't move. And maybe they have something behind that holds them back, that they are not aware or they don't want to move. But the others, I do love this hyperachiever, ambitious client that they love to change and they are going to invest everything. I was explaining to a director in one of the first bank in my country, how was the process. Okay, coaching is going to be, and he said, stop for a little bit, Hilda. I don't care. I just want to know how I'm going to be successful with this process. I love those
Yeah, who
because
just
they
want to,
invest
yeah,
everything to change.
yeah.
I love them.
But there must be one in particular that you really are proud of. Like, what was the,
Oh, a
like,
lot of them.
Yeah, but what
Yeah,
it must you must have one that was just like,
yeah,
oh no,
I do love
you would
him.
never go anywhere. But then it's just like I
Yeah,
lost my
that
magic.
that director, also from a bank, and he said, "Oh gosh, I know. Finally, I understood why my numbers are in red and we are not accomplishing." And I said, "Tell me, gosh, my team. They told me it was a better team than the one that I have." And I said, interesting. And it's not. No, of course not. So I began to joke with my client, and I said, gosh, so difficult it must be. And I'm wondering, your last assignment that you were really successful, is that true? And he said, oh, of course. Okay. And your team was the best team you could have in the first moment you met them. Of course not, Hilda. And he said, oh gosh, I'm so ashamed because I'm complaining and I'm not doing the work. I'm realizing with that I'm complaining, and the other team was so good because I built a perfect team to deal with results. And now I'm complaining and not I'm not doing my leadership role to build a strong team that can face challenges. And he said, I love that guy. He said, from today on. And I said, gosh, so good you realize that. And he said, okay, you were in your awful moment, a dark hole. Okay, now tell me your best version. Tell me, tell me. And he said, okay, I do this and that. I know how to do I have experience in it. And he said, from today on, I will write down here my personal resources and I will put that in my computer and I will see that every day. And when I will forget and I will think I cannot, this is impossible, that's awful, I will see and said, okay, what are my personal resources to respond to that? So I love that client, of course. He's a very smart guy, but he was in this complaining story of no resources, and he moved to realize what his job is.
Yeah, yeah. We just need. Sometimes we need the push. Sometimes we need the
Oh,
push.
yeah. Yeah.
And that is a good segue because now that we have the top of the like it's now gone 1 hour. But Rap he says, I love your quote. Saboteurs are those inner voices that disguise themselves as protectors, but actually hold us back. And he thanks for the session, brilliant session today. Thank you. Well, nothing to thank, Rap. We are always joking to each other. Like we are always joking. But Hilda, it has been fantastic. And
Gosh, I love it.
and it is this energy. Maybe it's a Mexican energy. I don't know. What do you
Maybe.
think? Maybe
Yeah,
your
yeah. Because
your love.
we are so alive.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you love chilies.
I love it. Oh, yeah.
But so just before we go off, I would just want to mention that the next inspiring conversation is Thursday the 9th in a week time, and it is with Jim Carlo, and he will talk about the myth of the born leader and the 6 pillars that prove otherwise. So that will be fun, and like Hilda, I have been put like your website where people can look at your website, hildafainsod.com. Beautiful one, and Rap he maybe can find the logo so he can. Yes, thank you very much. And people can find you on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And please talk to her because you're energy, and you are just like, oh yes, you are just, you make my day. And
Thank
as
you very
always,
much.
thank you. And as always, people, be curious, be interested, be inspired, and connect with each other. This is just, and it has been amazing, Hilda. So just
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas
Wishing you the
gracias.
best. Muchas gracias a ti.
It's the only thing I know in Spanish.
Okay. You need to improve.
No.